The night my heart broke for the third time, I held my empty arms and still believed love would choose me back. 3 miscarriages carve quiet graves inside a woman. Mine were small, invisible, and heavy. After the third, the house felt like a museum of hopes we were afraid to touch. I expected my husband, Daniel, to sit beside me in that silence, to grieve with me. Instead, he cleared his throat like a man about to make a business request. "Maybe we should try an open marriage," he said. "No pressure. Just options. Options." As if my body were a broken machine and love a subscription he could upgrade elsewhere. I waited for him to say he was joking. He didn't. He talked about freedom, about needs, about how stress had changed him. He never once said, "I'm sorry." That night, while he slept peacefully, I cried until dawn and decided something important: I would not beg to be loved. 24 hours later, fate knocked, softly, politely, wearing a tailored suit. I met him at a charity fundraiser I almost didn't attend. I stood by the window, wondering how many smiles I could fake before going home, when a calm voice asked if the seat beside me was taken. His name was Elias. He listened the way most people don't, like every word mattered even when I wasn't sure mine did anymore. We talked about books, travel, quiet mornings. When I mentioned the miscarriages, I braced for pity. Instead, he said gently, "You deserved tenderness through all of that." Before the night ended, he told me the truth without drama. He was a billionaire. He owned companies I'd heard of but never imagined touching my life. Then he said something that made my breath catch. "I'm not looking to collect people," he said. "I want one woman. A partner. If you ever wish for a life that feels safe again, I can give you that." I went home shaking, not from temptation, but from recognition. For the first time in months, someone had seen me, not my losses. Daniel noticed the change before I said a word. Confidence has a sound when it enters a room. I stopped apologizing. I smiled at my phone. I dressed like my reflection mattered. When he asked where I was going, I said, "Out." "Already?" he laughed. Guess the open marriage idea worked fast. I looked at him, truly looked, and realized how small he had become. "You opened the door," I said. "I just walked through it." Elias didn't rush me. He courted me with patience, flowers sent without expectation, conversations that felt like warm blankets, a home that felt like peace. He spoke of children as miracles, not obligations. Of love as a shelter, not a transaction. When Daniel finally understood that I wasn't bluffing, regret flooded him. He cooked dinners, planned trips, touched my hand like it was fragile glass. But love doesn't return just because fear shows up. The day I moved out, he stood in the doorway and asked, "Was I really that bad?" I paused. "You weren't cruel," I said. "You were careless." And I needed care. Months later, I stood on a balcony overlooking a city that glowed like a promise. Elias slipped his hand into mine, steady and sure. My life wasn't perfect, but it was whole. And somewhere behind me was a man who learned too late that when you ask for less commitment, you might lose everything. I didn't make my husband regret his decision out of revenge. I did it by choosing myself, and being chosen in return. If you loved this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Would you have accepted the open marriage and rejected the billionaire, or would you do the same? Your answer might just inspire the next episode.